So in this video, we're going to set up our main sequence. I'm in my virtual choir project, and in my virtual choir folder, I have here the audio file, the lyrics in a PowerPoint file, the frames for the different transition points that I'm going to use, and the videos. And here I've organized them according to the parts, and this will help me when I'm matching the lips of the singers. So I'll just import the videos, and here, so I got an MPEG error, so some I couldn't import them into Premiere, but I had formatted them, but I didn't remove them from the folders. You just want to check that you have all the video files imported properly, and I'll just import the frames. Merge all layers is fine because I'm importing PSD files, so I will get this alert to merge frames. Now that I'm set up, I will make a new sequence. Go to File, New Sequence, and I usually go with 1080p and 29.97 frames per second. If you know the frames per second that's more specific for you, you can use that. Just make sure that you let the audio producer know so that the audio can be matched to the same number of frames, or else you may get out of sync lips with the audio. And also, you can quickly just look at all your videos and see what FPS they are at, and we get a lot of variation, mostly around 30, but it's fine. Once you import it into the sequence, it shouldn't be a problem. So this is usually the one I use, and then I will give the sequence the name that I will export the file as. So let's call this virtual choir. And this is the working area that I can get into. Let me collapse this. So the first thing I want to do is subtitle the audio. So let's drag the audio here. We also need some title slides, but this video will focus more on the captioning. So I will click into my Captions workspace and create new caption track. Subtitle, format, no style, that's fine. And then add new caption. So what I like to do is I will drag this caption for the duration of the audio file and give the text style that I want for the whole video. And I will just cut it anywhere I put a new sentence. Because every time you add a new caption, the style is not inherited. So you would have to set the style either by selecting all your captions and configuring it in this panel. But I personally find it easier to just cut it along. So I will show you what I mean. For the font, just for example, I will use Helvetica and we'll just do bold, no shadow, and font. You want to consider your audience. You can check with the client how they will display the video. They will show it on a screen and there are people sitting far away. You may consider a bigger font. So this is what I will set. And let me just open up the lyrics. So I usually like to start the text at the start of a peak. So around here. I like the text to appear right when the word starts, but there's actually a bit of intro, so this is probably not the starting point. Okay, this is our starting point. This is a bit of a granular way of subtitling, but I feel like the result is how I like it. And I keep the text going until the beginning, the words of the next phrase. So here, it's when you can hear the words of the next line. So keyboard shortcut C, I'll just cut my subtitle right at that point. Go into my lyrics. Yeah, watch out for these spaces that come out. It will mess up the consistency of the subtitle position. So the moment where there's no sound and when I hear something coming in, that's where I will cut it. Oh, so after cutting it, to get back into the selector cursor, you just hit V. It's pretty consistent across Adobe applications. So I switch between C and V, keyboard shortcuts, to switch between my tools. This is my toolbar. I'm currently in the effects view. V lets me switch into the selection tool, and C switches into the razor tool. So that's what I want to show you. And then, yeah, just to show that point I was mentioning in the beginning. So I'm at the end of my caption, and I'll just add a new one. And you can see that the style of this is Myriad Pro. So the style is reset as opposed to having what I had set as Helvetica Bold. And of course, you can select all your caption. I clicked in the captions window, hit Command A on my Mac. So you can also just set the style like this at the very end. But the reason why I like to have the font weight and size set from the beginning is sometimes, let's say you're not captioning a song, but you're subtitling some narration and there's a lot of text. You may not know if you change your font size and weight at the end, if it will break into a second line in the subtitle. So that's why it's better to have your style defined at the beginning and then work with that throughout so that you know you're not going to have to go back in and break up sentences that were too long because the font is bigger than you started with. So that's all to subtitling, and when you export it, it will be embedded in your video.